What in the world is a peptide world? Okay, so when I refer to a peptide world, I'm talking about access. When I'm asking what world you're in, I mean, how did you gain access to this amazing, life-changing science? Okay, so for educational purposes only, let's spend a little time together and talk about the 5 worlds that exist within our GLP and peptide space, what some of the pros are, some of the cons are, and how important access is to all of us. Okay, so up first is the insurance/prescription route. You're going to your licensed medical provider and they are writing you a prescription for O's, Moun, and you are going to an FDA approved licensed pharmacy and you're picking up whatever that prescription is. So that's the first part. That's the first way. This route is for those of you who have insurance, often through your place of work, or you have private insurance that you're paying for, and then you've got to just hit all of the criteria, BMI, your morbidities, all of those things come into play. And typically that's how you're getting approved for this medication. It's not for everybody. Not everybody has insurance, so on and so forth. And none of these are for everybody. So just to be clear. I'd say pros, highest oversight, having somebody with you there, and name brand product, maybe. Cons can be back order, and of course expense. Okay, second is licensed compound pharmacies. Those are pharmacies that are still regulated, and they do require approvals. They mimic a lot of the compounds that FDA does offer, except they do a lot more customization, for example. Here you're getting tears and sema and other peptides that can be mixed to formulate other compounds. Pros, affordability, more customization, and you're getting the oversight of a licensed pharmacist. Cons is that quality can vary by pharmacy and insurance doesn't cover it. So although it is way more affordable than the first option, you still may be coming out of pocket for quite a bit depending on the compound pharmacy you choose. Number 3 is where many of us saw celebrities really taking advantage of this science with the drips, right? That's med spa and wellness spas. They typically have a program that's through some sort of weight loss or rejuvenation package or program where they're also offering these same compounds. And they generally source their compounds from compound pharmacies. The pros are the convenience. They have coaches there, and they bundle their services. They generally will say, okay, if you want a wellness package, we're going to include a GLP with, for example, these peptides for performance and this for energy, and we'll give you a meal plan, and it's usually an entire package that they're willing to offer. Cons, finding out where they are, sourcing the best ones, and way higher markup, guys, way higher markup. You have seen what celebrities are paying for this science using the bags. I don't want to say the acronym, but using those drip bags. There's a lot more product, a lot more ability for concentration. Some of you have seen those wellness and hydration bags that people use after they've had a night out of town and there's been too much drinking, and how quickly the vitamin infusions work. This is what that is. So that process, you're really paying for not only what's in the bag and what, but really what's involved in the lifestyle. So you're talking about, really, really expensive, really huge numbers for to use the med spas. Okay, and these last 2 are the ones that can at times be controversial, right? Depending on who you're speaking to. So the first one, they're both actually what we call gray market. The first one I'll refer to as light gray, okay? Light gray market. Okay, so light gray are US-based research peptide companies. Peptides and GLPs on these informal online purchasing platforms are used for research purposes only. If you are researching and have a test subject, then the pro is that we're talking about a lot of affordability, very small quantities so that your test subject can do their own research and figure out, and you can help your test subject figure out which way they need to go. The cons are for your test subject, there's no medical oversight except for you. Okay. And purity can be of concern. You would need to do research for that subject to ensure quality and safety standards are met. And finally, we'll talk about the dark gray market, which is a market that is based over the water, overseas in China and I believe India as well. And let's talk a little bit about that. Much like the light gray that is sold from US base, it's very similar. Research peptides, not for human consumption, for research purposes only, but sold directly from China, India, et cetera, that are sent over here. I believe Korea as well, many other countries sent here from suppliers who assist with research in those parts of the world. Pros, variety, and cost. Mostly cost, much cheaper, but also variety. There are a lot of other products and compounds that they have access to worldwide. Cons, much like the light gray with the dark gray, we're talking about legalities, which we all know about, and also the quality control, which again can be a risk. So this is why these sourced compounds are for research purposes only and not for human consumption. So there you have it, folks. Those are the 5 routes, 1 truth. Remember, guys, not all peptides are created equally. This big, beautiful world that we live in has a lot to offer. Try not to judge, just educate and learn. Hope this helped.